आज आम लेसन 3 ए विश ग्रांट मदर क्वेश्चन आंसर ए करबा। sgp-1 प्रथम प्रश्न हु वाज तारो हु लिव्ड विथ हिम। आंसर तारो वाज यंग जापानीज फार्मर ही लिव्ड with his grandmother. 2 number what kind of life did Taro live? Taro lived his life in space and happiness. 3. What troubles came to the villagers? The scarcity of food came to the villagers. 4 number who were forced to leave the village. Why? All the old people above 60 were forced to leave the village because they were strong enough to stay back and work hard. 5. Who stayed back in the village? Why? Answer the young people stayed back in the village because they were strong enough to work hard and improve the situation. Next 6 number. Was the village headman's decision right? No, the village headman's decision was not right. 7. How did the young man people feel when they did goodbye to their old parents and grandparents? Answer the young people felt sad when they said goodbye to their old parents and grandparents. 8. How would you feel if you were the young villagers? I would feel very sad if I were the young villagers. 9 number. Why did Taro not send his grandma with other old people? Taro had a deep attachment with his grandma and he could not bear the pain of letting go his grandma, so he did not send his grandma with other old people. 10. What did he do with her? He took his grandma to an underground room at the back of the countryward. sgp-2 प्रथम प्रश्न what did the warlord want the villagers to do? The warlord wanted the villagers to answer the 3 riddles put by him correctly. He would take the half of the land. 2. What was the warlord's first riddle? The first riddle of the warlord was to guess which part of a log was close to the top and which part was closer to the roots. 3 number. What was the grandmother's answer to it? The grandmother answered by saying that float the log on waters. She then told that the part closer to the root will sink, but the part close to the top will remain on water. 4. What was the second riddle? The second riddle was to answer how one can make a rope of ashes. 5 number. What was the right answer? The grandma gave the right answer. She told that one should take a strong rope, then salt in poured all over it. Then one end of the rope is lightened and it will burn slowly inch by inch, and that what is left at the end is coil of ashes. What was the third riddle? The third riddle was that how can one pass the silk thread through a hollow pipe which is cracked and corroded. 7. What was the answer? The grandmother answered by saying that the riddle was easy. Take the thread, tie the leg of an ant to the thread, put some honey at one end of the pipe and push the ant from the other end. the ant would surely crawl through for the honey at the other end, no matter how crooked or curved the pipe is. This was the answer to the third riddle. 8. When the grandma listened to the riddle, she kept her eyes closed for some time. Why? Answer. The grandma was wise woman and thought for some time by keeping her eyes closed. 9 number. Will Taro is his grandmother? Answer. Yes. এটা কোন হবো? Yes লিখিবা. Village handsome to answer the warlord riddle. sgp-3 প্রথম প্রশ্ন. The village headman was full of shame and repentance. Why? The village headman regretted his decision of sending all the old people to the mountain, thinking that they were of not use. When Taro's grandmother answered all the riddles right, he felt ashamed. 2 number. How did he deal with Taro and grandmother? He thanked Taro and his grandmother and gave them gifts. 3 number. Why did he reward them? It was because of Taro's grandmother their village was saved, so the headman rewarded them. 4 number. What did he do with the old people? The headman ordered all the old people to be brought back with respect to the village. 5 number. What happened when the old people returned to the village? When the old people returned to the village, it rained again and all the wells were filled. The days of happiness came back with the return of the old people. Taro lived happily with his grandmother. The village headman ordered the old people to move to the nearby. Answer. Hillside na mountain? Mountain side. 3 number. Taro hid his grandmother in an old building, a farmhouse, or an underground room, a grain store. তাহলে অপশন নম্বর বি, underground room. 4 number. The dash set 3 riddles for the villagers. Answer. Warlord. 5. Dash answered all the riddles. The village headman, Taro, the old villagers, Taro's grandmother. তবে answer Taro's grandmother. B. sgp-1 wrote in the village. Grandmother was idle. sgp-2 riddles and their answer. sgp-3 peace and happiness return to the life in the village. A military rules. 5. Warlord. Bed and rounded. Covered. A difficult question. Riddle. A periods without rain. Drought. Overjoyed. Thrilled. A feeling of guilty. Remorse. Not easily available. Scarce. Once there was no rainfall. Pond and wells. Dread of a drought came. I dried the fields and wells, so the crops became scarce. So, why did the village headman send all the old people out of the village? The problem of drought made the headman and the villagers feel worried about their situation. The headman took the decision of sending the people over 60 years to the mountainside, as they were not strong enough to any productive work. Third, why were the young people not sent out? The young people were productive, they were strong enough to work hard and improve the situation. What did Taro do with her grandmother? Taro had deep attached with his grandmother and did not want to her go, so he decided to hide her underground room. B. What did the warlord want the villagers to do? The warlords asked the villagers to answer the three riddles correctly, else their half land would be taken by him. BI. What was the warlord first riddle? The first riddle of the warlord was to guess which part of a log was close to the top and which part was closer to the root. BW. What was the grandmother's answer to it? The grandmother answered by saying that float the log on water. She then told that the part closer to the root will sink, but the part close to the top will remain on water. VWI. What was his second riddle? His second riddle was to answer how one can make a rope of ashes. What was its answer? The second riddle answer was one should take a strong rope, then salt each poured all over it, then one end of the rope is lightened and it will burn slowly, inch by inch, and that what is left at the end is the coil and asili. X. What was his third riddle? The third riddle was that how can one pass the silk thread through a whole pipe which is clogged and curved? What XI? What was its right answer? Take the threads, tie the leg of an ant to the thread, put some honey at one end of the pipe and push the ant from the other ends. The ant would surely crawl through for the honey at the other end, no matter how cracked or covered. The pipe is this was the answer to the third riddles. XWI. How did the village headman feel when the knew about the grandmother rule? The grandmother, the headman felt guilty of the considering the wool were is not used. When he got to know what the riddles were answered by Taro grandmother, he felt ashamed. XWI. What did he for Taro and his grandmother? The headman was happy with that because of Taro's grandmother, their village was saved from such big dangers. The headman rewarded Taro and his grandmother with gifts. XIV. What happened after the old people returned? When the old people returned, the village proposed again. The village bloomed into its beauty. Old people led their happy and comfortable life. It rained and all the wells were attended.